the iron door opened, and a monster crawled out from inside. Several humans were frightened and quickly fled. Suddenly, a mechanical giant hand grabbed the monster. The monster came from Skull Island. Ever since the battle between Godzilla and Kong, Skull Island has been covered with a biodome by the Monarch organization. They have concealed the information about King Kong. By doing so, Godzilla would be unable to track Kong's presence. If Godzilla sensed his presence, he would definitely come for revenge. As for Monarch, it was secretly established in 1946. It is an organization specialized in tracking and studying large unidentified creatures. The scene shifts to the Apex headquarters in Pensacola, Florida. What kind of company is Apex? You can think of it as a technology company, with a primary focus on areas like robots and artificial intelligence. It is somewhat similar to the Umbrella Corporation in Resident Evil. The CEO of Apex, named Walter Myers, is a very enthusiastic person who frequently expresses his opinions on the internet. He believes that Apex is involved in some undisclosed secrets, so he infiltrates the company with the intention of uncovering some incriminating evidence. Myers successfully infiltrates the Apex company and discovers a shipping manifest, indicating that Apex is transporting something to Hong Kong, although the nature of the cargo is unknown. Just then, a Titan alarm suddenly goes off, and the arriving entity is none other than the giant monster. Godzilla. Human aircraft and missiles have no effect on Godzilla whatsoever, but what's unusual is that Godzilla never attacks humans without cause. Clearly, Godzilla has a different purpose for his current appearance. Apex CEO Walter takes the opportunity to promote the idea that Godzilla is the greatest threat to humanity, and that humans must eliminate Godzilla. Myers expresses his opinions on the internet, believing that Apex is involved in a conspiracy, and that their actions have brought about Godzilla's retaliation. Matty also believes that Godzilla is the protector of humanity, and that his attacks on humans must be provoked by something. Matty's father, Dr. Mark, is the head of Monarch, and he advises Matty to stop inquiring about these matters, and reprimands her for it. On the other side, Walter seeks out Dr. Linda, a researcher in the field of Hollow Earth theory. Although Dr. Linda has published many relevant books, Hollow Earth theory has always been criticized by scholars worldwide, resulting in poor sales of his own books, leaving him in poverty. The reason Walter seeks out Dr. Linda this time is because they have detected, through geomagnetic satellites, that the Earth is indeed hollow. There is a very complete ecosystem in it, as well as abundant nuclear energy. If humans were to possess this energy, they would become as powerful as the Titans themselves. They would become true creators. Thus, they would be able to fight against Godzilla. Walter approached Dr. Linda. He wanted Dr. Linda to enter the Hollow Earth and discover nuclear material energy and develop it. However, they face a formidable challenge when entering the Hollow Earth. When they enter the Hollow Earth, they would be subjected to the influence of universal gravity. Humans would instantly bear the weight of the entire planet, and would be flattened instantly. To solve this problem, Apex Corporation specifically invented an aircraft. It can withstand such gravitational reversal. It is called the Hollow Earth Flyer, and they need Kong to guide them into the Hollow Earth. As Kong and creatures like Godzilla, these ancient titans, originate from the Hollow Earth, so they can lead humans on the way. Dr. Linda approached Eni, and initially, Eni didn't agree to bring Kong to the Hollow Earth, as she was concerned that once Kong steps beyond the barrier, Godzilla would sense his presence. However, considering the existing biological barrier's measures, keeping Kong here will only make him more agitated, and Eni also wants to provide him with a new living environment, so she agreed to the doctor's request. In this way, with Kong peacefully asleep under the escort of the US Navy, he lies on a massive transport ship heading to Antarctica. At night, a little girl suddenly wakes up. She is a native of Skull Island. She is the sole survivor of a catastrophe. She is also currently the only one who can communicate with Kong through sign language. She senses that Kong is extremely nervous, because Kong may sense danger. Sure enough, the next day Godzilla appears. The US naval fleet detected Godzilla on their radar. They began attacking Godzilla with modern weapons. Godzilla easily evaded the missiles by diving into the water. Then, using its powerful dorsal fins, it rammed and destroyed a battleship. Human weapons were completely ineffective against Godzilla. It effortlessly overturned a massive ship as it charged forward. Kong intended to confront Godzilla, but it was restrained by iron chains. As Kong sank into the sea, it was on the verge of drowning. At a critical moment, the doctor opened the iron chains. As Kong was no match for Godzilla in the water, Kong struggled to climb onto a ship, and looked at the aircraft carrier in the distance. Using a destroyer as a pedal, it leaped onto the aircraft carrier. Then Kong picked up a nearby $250 million F-22 fighter jet, and threw it at Godzilla. The first battle between Godzilla and Kong began on the aircraft carrier. However, it seems that Godzilla is having some difficulty fighting Kong on land. It's struggling a bit against Kong. Godzilla was also knocked into the sea, but Godzilla has its devastating atomic breath. It unleashed its breath and destroyed the aircraft carrier. In the water, it's Godzilla's domain. Kong has no resistance in the water. It was even choking on the seawater. Later, with the help of humans, Kong managed to climb onto a ship. When Godzilla saw that Kong was no longer a threat, it decided to spare Kong for the time being. In the first battle, Godzilla emerged as the clear victor. It seems that they can't use the water route anymore. They can only arrange for Kong to be transported by air. The scene shifts to Matty's side. Matty believes that Apex Corporation must have earth-shattering secrets. She then finds her good friend. Together, they find Myers. The two of them infiltrate Apex Corporation. Just as they were about to be discovered, they hide in a cargo hold, and inside the cargo hold, they find the eggs of the Skullcrawler. They didn't have time to analyze it, and the cargo hold's door closed. These batches of eggs are to be transported to Apex Corporation's headquarters in Hong Kong, China. They can only follow the cargo hold. They proceed through underground transportation, heading to Hong Kong, China. On the other side, Kong travels by plane and arrives in Antarctica. There is a passage here that leads to the Hollow Earth. Kong enters the tunnel guided by the little girl. The Doctor and his team follow behind in an aircraft. After navigating through a complex terrain, they arrive at a teleportation point. Through the teleportation point, and they have truly arrived in the Hollow Earth. The Hollow Earth is incredibly fascinating. It has plants, water sources, and air similar to the surface. There are also endless hills. Kong is very curious about everything. Suddenly, a flying monster destroys an aircraft. This monster has enormous wings, and it attacks by entangling its prey. However, Kong easily defeats the monster. Kong seems to sense a certain power, and it continues its journey. The scene shifts back to Myers and Matty. They travel in the cargo hold, and arrive at Apex Corporation in Hong Kong. To their surprise, they arrive at an immensely large open space, and what appears before their eyes is Mechagodzilla. It turns out to be Apex Corporation's conspiracy. No wonder Godzilla has been attacking them for no reason. It sensed the energy of Mechagodzilla. A Skullcrawler has already crawled out of the cargo door. Mechagodzilla grabs the Skullcrawler. It effortlessly splits the Skullcrawler into two. But now, Mechagodzilla, it operates on traditional electrical power, which can only provide atomic breath for one time. Once used, it runs out of energy. That's why Apex Corporation is going to the Hollow Earth, to find underground nuclear energy. Once they obtain the underground nuclear energy, Mechagodzilla's energy will be limitless and inexhaustible. The way humans control Mechagodzilla is by modifying a skull of King Ghidorah. They connect human consciousness to Mechagodzilla via a control panel. On the other side, Kong is guided to the entrance of a cave, where there is a massive palm print on the stone door. Kong pushes open the door to the cave, revealing what seems to be a temple inside. Kong sees an axe, and notices the shape of the axe, which appears to be made from Godzilla's dorsal fin. There should have been a large-scale war in ancient times. This axe belongs to Kong's ancestors, and it was a weapon they once used. Kong sits on the throne, and at this moment, the axe starts emitting a blue light, as if it's absorbing some kind of energy. Godzilla first senses Mechagodzilla's energy, and it intends to come and destroy Mechagodzilla, but it didn't expect that. Now Godzilla senses the energy emitted by Kong's axe. Godzilla opens its mouth wide, and it unleashes its atomic breath towards the ground, creating a large hole in the ground. The atomic breath pierces through the ground, and reaches the core. A century-long battle is inevitable. Kong picks up the weapon used by its ancestors, and it passes through the tunnel formed by the atomic breath, emerging from the ground, prepared to face the century-long battle. Kong has the advantage with the ancestral axe, putting it in a favorable position. Unlike in the water, Kong is more agile on land, delivering powerful punches and kicks, overturning Godzilla. Godzilla gets up and unleashes its atomic breath directly, gradually gaining the initiative. After all, the atomic breath can easily penetrate through the earth. Kong gradually falls behind, but seizing an opportunity, it blocks the atomic breath with the axe, and swings the axe down. But Kong fails to harm Godzilla. Instead, Godzilla seizes the opportunity, grabbing the axe and throwing it far away. Without the enhanced axe, Kong gradually loses ground. After a fierce battle between the two monsters, Godzilla finds Kong's weakness, and bites Kong's left arm, forcefully tossing it. Kong's arm dislocates. Kong, who could have barely resisted Godzilla, is now left to endure the attacks. Kong is pinned down by Godzilla, although Kong resists fiercely, but the power difference between them is too great. Ultimately, Kong collapses in defeat. At this moment, Mechagodzilla is filled with energy from the Earth's core, but due to excessive power, it experiences a system malfunction, and Mechagodzilla is no longer under control. Mechagodzilla goes into a rampage, and the pilot is electrocuted due to the high voltage. The CEO of Apex Corporation is slapped to death by Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla not only has the same body structure as Godzilla, but it can also use atomic breath, and it is even stronger in terms of power. A fierce battle between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla is about to begin. Mechagodzilla, created by human advanced high technology, first launches missile attacks, then activates its thrusters, and it doubles its strength even more. Godzilla is easily knocked down with a single punch. More importantly, the mechanical Godzilla arms are longer. It takes advantage of technological enhancements. Godzilla was beaten to the point of being defenseless. At this moment, Godzilla uses its ultimate move, Atomic Breath. But it didn't anticipate that Mechagodzilla's energy is stronger, as it not only blocks the atomic breath, Godzilla is hit by its own atomic breath due to Mechagodzilla's power. Just as Mechagodzilla is about to pry open Godzilla's mouth, Kong is awakened by the energy of the flying vehicle, making it alive and vigorous once again. The girl tells Kong that Godzilla is not the enemy, but Mechagodzilla is our enemy. At the final moment, Kong pries open Mechagodzilla's mouth. It saves Godzilla's life, so the two monsters team up, launching an attack on Mechagodzilla. But Mechagodzilla is too powerful. Even if two sides work together, they won't be able to defeat it. Kong sees the ancient battle axe in the distance. It picks up the axe and begins chopping at Mechagodzilla, but the axe lacks energy. It has no effect on Mechagodzilla at all. Mechagodzilla modifies its tail into a drill. It aims at Kong. At this critical moment, Matty and the others pour alcohol on the control panel, causing a momentary short circuit in the control panel. This temporarily caused Mechagodzilla to experience a brain blank. Beside it, the fallen Godzilla sees the opportunity to use atomic breath. It replenishes the energy of Kong's ancient battle axe, giving the axe an energy boost. Kong enters a rampage mode. The epic battle of the century comes to an end. After Kong dismantles Mechagodzilla, it also sits weakly on the ground. Godzilla and Kong look at each other. Kong chooses to put down the ancient battle axe. In the end, Godzilla turns around and disappears into the sea. It seems that their feud has been completely eradicated. At the end of the movie, Kong arrives at his new home in the Hollow Earth, where he can live freely and carefree. The movie ends at this point. There are many details in the movie that are not explained, because this movie has a vast worldview, such as the newly released series, Godzilla vs. Kong, Monarch Files. It emerged to fill the entire worldview, the extensive worldview setting. There are still many things that can be excavated here. If you are interested, you can search for relevant worldview movies or TV series. If you enjoyed my video, please consider subscribing me.